Miles, thanks for coming on and having a chat with us today. It's nice to see you.
Thanks for having me
Just
on.
no worries. Just wanted to really let this interview be about PH1 as such. I was having a look at the branding, I was looking at the content. Feels like you guys have a lot going on. So maybe let's start at the beginning. What is We Are PH1 and who are PH1 FC?
You said start from the beginning. You got to go. Depends how far you want to go back, but we'll keep it brief. So, um, I'm pretty sure. I'll ask you. Do you know what PH1 stands for?
I don't actually, but I feel like it's something to do with science and fitness. Am I right?
Yeah, you're along the right line. So PH1 is acidic, and when I was in school, I created a brand called Acidic. That was a brand that I built in school. It was a tag name for myself to make music and all that sort of stuff, and it was doing all right. I wasn't taking it seriously, but looking back, in terms of like branding and marketing and kind of selling myself in kind of the area, I was doing all right. Stop that to focus on football full time, and then uni, and then after first year, I wanted to do something again. Like I really enjoyed creating content, and that's kind of what I enjoy doing. And I was like, you know what? Let's start Acidic Fitness. So Acidic Fitness, it will be 6 years in the summer that has been up and running, and
Oh, wow.
it was, yeah, I know, a long time. And it was to, what's how can I say it? It was to kind of, I wanted to link up with kind of sports, niche sports that don't really get a look in kind of in mainstream. So, you know, top from the top of my head, talking, weightlifting, hockey, uh, netball, them sort of sports. Initially, I tried staying away from football because I thought, I'm a football man, but I thought that going into football would be too easy. Um, I wanna, I wanna kind of challenge myself and kind of explore other sports. Like I am a sports fan as well, so just dabbling into different sports was fun. And then trying to think now, come around 2017, I had some sort of working relationship with Adidas, and then an opportunity arose to take part in their global activation called the Tango League. So the Tango League is a football activation where teams get together and play five-a-side tournaments all around London. It happens in different markets around the world, and Acidic Fitness was given an opportunity to enter a team. And I was like, okay, cool, in the name. Acidic FC is too easy of a name. I don't like it. It's too easy. No, I'm not a fan. So I'm like, what can I call it? And I was like, what, PH1? All right, it's got a nice ring to it. Fine, we'll keep it at that. And with PH1, we established 2017, beginning of 2017. That was the same time that kind of YouTube football and kind of, I don't know how to call it, influencer or creator football kind of popped up. So that's when you saw kind of the emergence of SE Dons at around 2017. BT started um, pretty much at the same tournament as us as well. So BT's kind of kicked off as well. So at the end of that year, we were just a team that was just playing the Tango League. So at the end of 17, I said to myself, right, okay, cool. Now is the time to kind of start putting the works into building PH1 as its own football brand.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's the origin story.
That is a long story, but you said it there, 6 years in the making. It's not something that's happened overnight. And I was having a look at the kit, very nicely designed. Love the
Mhm.
tiger analogy. Obviously, big brands like Boost and Adidas on there. How do you approach these sort of markets to sort of back you?
Well, with Adidas, I'm just lucky. It's some. I remember when I first started Acidic, it was kind of a big statement of intent that I said, you know what, I want to get some sort of working relationship with Adidas. That's what I want to do. People thought I was crazy because I said that literally from the word go. And I just surrounded myself with the right people, the right opportunities came for myself, and I just took advantage of them to the point where now, when now we get opportunities to be involved in activations and be involved kind of in kind of their strategies. So that's number one. In terms of boost, again, perfect timing. We actually were looking at finding partners. We've had, as Acidic Fitness, we've had partners before, but for PH1 specifically, we hadn't. So it was a thing of, okay, cool, we've got something great here. Is now what we've got to do, myself and a small selection of the team. So Lauren, my captain, just put together a plan and just put together a list of, okay, cool, we need to approach these people, let them know who we are, and hopefully they buy into it. And fortunately enough, Boost, especially with what they're going through, they want to reinvigorate their brand in the wider public. Saw us as a great fit, and we've been working together ever since the beginning of the year now.
Wow, I love Boost. I haven't had Boost in years though. It takes me
I
well.
know. Yeah.
Everyone thinks of Red Bull, but give me a boost. Well, like you said there, it sounds like it's not a one-man band as much as it keeps you very busy. And obviously, like, your team is tier 2 to 5 squad players, so they're all playing sort of semi-pro, or
in fact, before we talk about the women, I think I missed out something important in the origin story. So okay. in the origin story, so when it came to finding the team for PH1, I was working at a category 3 or category 4 academy, category 3 academy, Dagenham Bridge. So I was on a placement there, strength and conditioning, and when the opportunity came, I was like, I need players. And I looked at the boys and I was like, okay, cool, I'm just gonna nab a bunch of you. Ended up losing my job over it because they weren't happy. But honestly, looking back, it's something that I would probably do again. Because
they weren't happy with you doing it.
No, they weren't happy. Because it's kind of funny looking back. So what happened was, I took him on board. I didn't let anybody know. I let him know on the day. And he was annoyed, but he was like, just make sure that they're not injured. And I was like, okay, cool. But the following day they had a game and they lost.
Right.
And they're unbeaten as well. So they lost the game. So I kind of took the
rap for that one.
Yeah. So they weren't happy about that. And then I just moved on. But, it is where it is. And like I said, at the same time, I wanted to give them an opportunity to kind of explore this space, and I stuck with them. So when we decided to become a brand in end of 2017, we actually didn't get the ball rolling until the end of 2018. It just took forever to get it started. I didn't even think it was going to happen, because it was just non-moving. And then at one Adidas event, and to mention before, I always had the intention of bringing women in, and I thought it would take a long time because, I just thought it would take a long time. I'd worked with female ballers in the past, Chloe, Kaylee, and others. When
good name drop there.
Yeah, I know. big player and really good friend of mine. So I mean, I was familiar with the game, but from an elite level, like tier 1 and 2, at that point. So anything below that, I didn't have a clue. All I knew was the top 2 tiers and kind of how they operated, because I'd go to games like whenever I could, and made friends within that scene. So, and I said, I really want to do something for those that are tier 3 and below, and I thought it would take a while. So end of 2018, we have an activation for Adidas that I'm kind of in charge of, because I've also got a job there as well. So I'm in charge of activation, and I made a prediction, bold one. And this is right before a tango league as well. And I said, right, what's going to happen? A group of female players that are part of a college academy are going to come in. One of them is going to do really, really well and is going to get top score. And it happened.
Who was it?
So she plays, I'm trying to think now. She plays tier, I think she plays tier 6. Her name is Jennifer Neves. She's at Sutton. She was just turned 16, I believe. Yeah, just turned 16. And I saw that and I was like, wow, all right, cool. Let's bring you in. Let's bring you into tango. Brought her in. She was the first female player in tango league. There hadn't been a female tango league player before. And I asked, I was like, yo, like, is there a gender rule? And Brand came back to me and said, there's no gender rule. It's that women just don't take part because they just assume that it's men only, but it's not. So Jennifer was the first female tango player, and Brand were very excited about that, and I was excited about that. I said, okay, cool. Now I want to start bringing in more female players. So from the back of that, in Jan 19, we had the first PH1 campaign, which was I forgot the name of it, but it was kind of like it was a refresh, pushing for men and women at the same time. We initially started with about 6 female players, and they were all tier 3 actually, all tier 3 players, and we just went from there. Once that first PH1 campaign went live, a lot of players within like between 3 and 5 were just all over it, and I was like, wow, like there's a lot of interest for there's a lot of interest in this, because again, I realized this, especially looking back, there wasn't, and I still believe there isn't anything like it. There isn't, and especially now that we're talking, 20 players strong, like I said in the beginning, players from tiers 3 to 5. There's nothing like it. There isn't any collective. There's collectives, but there isn't a collective where you've got an onslaught of talent. You haven't got an SC Don's female equivalent. You haven't got a Beatty's female equivalent. And for me, PH1 is pretty much the only one in this country anyway. There's others in other countries, like, you know, you've got Crazy Squad in Paris, you've got Future 0330 in Berlin, you've got a couple of others over in the States, but there's nothing like it in this country. And that's why I'm so passionate for it, because especially it's small things like them going to events and them getting kit and them getting small things is just the glow in their eyes. And I'm just like, this is what they're not used to. And now they're kind of getting the attention and they're getting treated. And that's what I want to do. Just give them opportunities and give them opportunities and, you know, hopefully
some exposure.
Yeah, exposure, because again, and hopefully it helps with their careers as well, because ultimately that's the aim.
Miles, you're selling me a dream here. I kind of want to get involved, but I am nowhere near in a tier 2 to 5. But how do you go about bringing more people onto your roster? Do you, like you say, you go to games and you make friends, or do they approach you, or is it a bit of both?
It's a bit of everything. Again, Acidic has been, you know, 6 years strong. The thing that I've got over others is that I've got a brand with history and I've got legitimacy. So especially in the beginning, if I was just any person that just woke up one morning and said, you know what, I want to start a female team because I won't compete with the men's, with no history, no nothing, it would be difficult to attract the players that I've attracted. You know what I'm saying? The acidic background helps. The relationship and the connection that I have with other female players helps as well. The brand links help as well. So I've built something, and because I've built something, people want to jump on board. We're actually looking for players now. We had a good number that actually inquired. Unfortunately, we won't take everyone because again, I have to stick within the standard. You have to be within that standard to kind of not get lost. But there's again, like you said, me going to the games that I can, because I do go to a lot of games to actually see my players in action. I want to see how they're doing and stuff. I think that's important that I'm there. And yeah, word of mouth as well. The players, like what I've noticed as well, especially in London, the talent pool is small, very, very small.
Because you
Everyone
haven't
knows
seen me play
everyone.
yet, Miles.
Where are you from though?
I'm not, well, I live in London, but I only play like a Saturday league. I am way down the pyramid.
Okay.
You can come check us out if you want. I was saying to Luke, we're actually playing Rising Ballers tomorrow, who I noticed on you play friendlies against them. So I guess, is it anywhere near that standard or higher, would you say, your team? You could be
From
honest.
from what I understand, I don't know much about the Rising Ballers team itself. I know in the beginning, and what's funny about Rising Ballers is that we kind of started at the same time. So when PH1 rebranded, that's when the Rising Ballers women's team came about. And from what I remember, we were kind of in the beginning anyway, when they were doing like when they were featured on the main page itself, we were kind of fighting. I wouldn't say fighting, but we were kind of trying to go for the same players, because again, the talent pool isn't big.
Yeah.
That, you know, if you've got your eye on someone, they're gonna want they're probably gonna want the same person as well. We've actually got players in the team now that have played for Rising Ballers, which is fine. Like there's no beef there. I mean, like I said, the pool is small. But in terms of like I said, in terms of their Saturday team, I don't know who's there. I don't know who plays for them. But I've always said, just from our side, that we can't play Saturday football, only because and this is something that I even tell the players, because again, I understand that it's important to them. The priority is their Sunday teams.
Yeah.
The priority is their Sunday teams. So playing in a Saturday league would just kill them. And the one thing that I personally want to do, I want to make sure I've got a good relationship with the teams. I like to think that I've got a good relationship with some of the teams that the players are affiliated with, like hashtag especially, which is a surprise, a big surprise, because I thought in the beginning, oh, they're gonna be cold about it. You know, it's kind of similar, you know. But they've been cool. But you know, there's other teams and other managers of teams that, you know, they're not the biggest fans, but really and truly, there's nothing that they can do, because, you know, there's just nothing they can do at the end of the day. But like I said, the priority is for their Sunday teams. So, you know, in season, we try and link up in the week, or if we do link up in the weekend, it's only for a challenge video, like a light-hearted one. But when it comes to off season now, that's when we go out and, you know, play friendlies, exhibitions, tournaments a lot. So
That's your busy period. That's not far off now. Next couple of months.
No, literally in a month's time, a lot of the girls will have finished their spring series and their friendlies and stuff. So from then on, we can kind of kick on with tournaments. But in the meantime, we can still meet up and like do challenges and whatnot. So yeah, there's a structure in place.
It sounds good. I'm looking forward to seeing the players, but also looking forward to seeing the brand. When is the kit going to launch, or where can we see more of it?
I've actually got the kit right here.
Go on, give us a sneak peek.
Right here, sneak peek's already out.
I'm gonna have to get one of these.
Yeah, kit's already out. So like you said, you know, it's, you know, branding. It's very unique, like you said. It's inspired by the tiger strip. You've got clubs that have kind of adopted a similar design. So Tigress over in Latin America, South America. I think Copenhagen as well with their third kit. So just incorporating that tiger strip, because again, the story behind it is that we want to mark our territory in this scene. No one's kind of claimed it, it's kind of a challenge to everyone out there. I see it in the guys. I'm a competitive guy myself, and like I said, I've got friends in Beatties, friends in Dons, and they're very, very competitive in that space. They're fighting to be the best in that space, and it's very, very healthy competition. I wanted to be involved in that with PH1, but unfortunately, at the back end of last year, I had to cut all the guys off, as in like get rid of them, because again, like I said, they just weren't cutting it, and the effort levels just weren't there, and the interest in the women's was higher, like not just from like brands, but even on social media. I watched everything, and the posts featuring the women compared to the men, like the engagement and reach was just a lot more with the women. So I was like, okay, let me just focus all my energy on the women. And again, it's kind of a lonely world, but where we've got kind of no one similar to us to compete with in this country. But having said that, there are still established teams out there that we can mix it with. And yeah, like I said, it's just a challenge really for other groups of girls to kind of do something, because it doesn't have to be just an ensemble talent from different leagues. But like, for example, you can be from Birmingham, or you can be from Manchester, and if you've got enough to, if you got enough to like come together and make something, then do it. And if you're all ballers, then why not? And who knows, we've also got a lot of kids. I say kids, we're talking like 13 upwards, that kind of follow the brand. And it's a thing of, you know what, like if in a couple of years time you want to do the same thing that we're doing, go ahead. Like we want to, like, I think what's important for me as well, and the portrayal of this, is that everything's a big deal. I try and make everything a big deal. Like from one of our players playing Arsenal last week in the FA Cup. That was a big deal. I made sure that it was portrayed as a big deal. Forget the scoreline; it's a big deal when you're playing Arsenal. You've earned that right. Even from like the kit launch, I need to make sure it's a big deal. So,
it is a big deal. It's 100%. Inspiring and empowering to hear that you're really behind the women's campaign. Sorry, Miles, I have to stop you there. I could chat to you for longer, but Luke's got to wrap up. But thank you so much. I hope that we can put the branding on our YouTube page, and everyone can get a link and see where they can have a look at this kit as well. It's already
hopefully, yeah, that's fine with me. Right, perfect. Thank you.